Hi guys, I know I am late because, what do I say? I went to get on my computer, get things all set up early, and there was a Windows update. So I let it start to update, and I realized even though it's like 25 minutes, something like that beforehand, we're getting really close to the time that I have to do live stream. And then what happens? Okay, it just keeps spinning and spinning, and it restarted, and I was like, okay, I'm only going to be a few minutes late. And then no, I just started another one, and then it just kept spinning and spinning and spinning, and it's the wheel of death. That's what it is. And so I was trying to figure out how to go to on my new computer, and because the webcam's always like something else is using your webcam, and nothing is using my webcam, guys. It's off, and I don't know how to fix it. So I googled it while I was trying to wait for this computer to update, and it said delete the drivers and reinstall them. So I deleted it, and then I can't figure out where to get the driver to reinstall it. And the link that was provided was, a useless piece of poop. So here I am, late again. This crazy October energy just kind of gets me in there. And I don't even know if anybody is here yet, but I am sharing the link. Somebody said that they can hear me. Oh, okay. That was Jodie on the other video that wasn't recording. It was just wasn't recording me. It was just my voice, which I guess might have been better for me in the long run. Who knows? Because I'm shy. But the point is, I'm gonna shut my door. I'm late. I'm sorry, but I'm here, and I'm sorry for being late. I don't know how to get my drivers back on this computer, but I'll figure it out. Otherwise, I won't be doing any speed drawings, which is not nice. Oh, I just shut that. I need that. I'm sorry, I'm a little disorganized. Nobody's here yet. I just shared the links, so we'll see how this goes. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'm still the only one here, so I wanted to give it a few seconds because I just shared the link, and you guys waited for me, so, oh, look, my battery's almost dead on my other computer, too. That's great. Sorry, it's been a rough day. Happy birthday to my mom. I got to see my sister, which was cool, but, I don't think anybody's here yet. So, I guess I'm just gonna get started, and we'll see if anyone is joining. I don't know, I just got a random message from somebody. So, oh yay, okay, everybody's here. Hi. Sorry, I know you guys probably missed this, but my computer needed an update. It wasn't opening up anything, and it took like 25 minutes for it to not even, like 25 minutes was when I went, crap, I'm gonna be late. And then my other laptop, basically, I had to uninstall and reinstall the driver, but then I couldn't figure out how to reinstall the driver to make it work. So that's my next project. Anyway, we're here to talk about Apollo and Albel. Is Sam here because she asked the question that I'm going to answer, and I'm going to start off with her question because it simply just kind of describes their personality. So Sam asked if Albel and Apollo, Sparta's here, if Albel and Apollo were in a prank war, what would be their ultimate pranks? So I thought a lot about this, and for Albel, he is just not the mischievous type. I mean, he can do some stuff, but he's not really, I can say he's not strategic, but when it comes to his pranks, the best he's got is probably putting some hot sauce in your toothpaste. And I'll put it this way. If Apollo got hot sauce in his toothpaste, he would panic for a second and go, ha, 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 drink some milk, and then do it again. Like, that's just who he is. He'd be like, that's unique. I wonder if it'll happen again. And Albel would think, oh, he likes it. Welcome, Sam. I'm answering your question. The other things that Albel would do is tie your shoes together. You know, he would pretty much fail at all of his pranks because Apollo's pretty good at recovering. So even if he does something stupid, he makes it work. And he would fail. So Albel was not gonna win any prank wars. He's just not. Now, Apollo, being Apollo, he would probably make Albel think he's in a private space all of his own. And then, you know, when he starts rapping in the shower, he would reveal an audience because that's just who Apollo is. He would win by embarrassing Albel. And it's not hard for him to do because Apollo has this. He doesn't think there's anything really wrong with nudity. He doesn't think there's really anything wrong with embarrassing his brother because he really thinks that Albel enjoys it. And to an extent, Albel really does. He loves Apollo, but Apollo knows exactly every button to hit. That's great. I love technology. Sorry, my other computer just shut down. So I had to open up a new tab. But so, Sam, your answer is that basically Apollo's ultimate prank would be getting people to hear Albel rap. And the thing is in the comic, there is a point where Apollo brings Miri and Sira and Hannibal to hear Albel sing because Apollo says, yeah, Albel sings, it's just not normal. And in this universe, Albel is the creator of rap. So he takes his brother and his friends to the waterfall where Albel is bathing, and he starts rapping, unbeknownst that he's being spied on. And what does he start rapping about? Cats. Albel is singing in the shower, rapping away about how much he loves cats. And it is a good moment until he is discovered. But my point is that Apollo is going to win when it comes to mischievousness and I'm trying to get up my prompt because it was on the other computer and, and I'm just having problems because it keeps logging me into the wrong one, and I don't know why. Okay, there we go. Sorry, guys. So, are you satisfied with that answer, Sam? I feel so serious. I feel like I'm not really embracing that Apollo energy. Okay, so I'm going to start with the general information. So we got Apollo, who doesn't really have a nickname. He just goes by Apollo. He's 18. His birthday is February 7th. His nationality is Russian. His religion is, well, he really believes in his mom, at least in the beginning. He believes in doing the right thing and serving her, but later on that might change. You know, who knows? You'll have to find out. His city of birth is the Isle of the Sky. His current place for living is kind of traveling on the earth. He is the Rishin of the day. Oh, who would win, Apollo or your Troll King husband? That's a hard one. I might have to go with your Troll King husband only because while Apollo is a good troll, it is not his sole purpose to troll. Like, he does troll Albel a lot. He just naturally, like I said, knows how to hit Albel's buttons, knows how to get him to make all those great faces, like the one that was on my Facebook today, Sparta's favorite shark face. Let's see. His job title is Rishin of the Day. His employing company, that's his, yeah. I guess technically his mother is his employing company. His income is really whatever frugal Albel will give him. Albel is so very careful with their money, and Apollo's just like, but I want that pie. I want that pie. I'll give you my belt buckle for that pie. And I will be like, what? That doesn't even make sense. You can't pay for a pie with a belt buckle. And somehow Apollo would manage to convince that person to give him pie for his belt buckle. You know, that's just kind of how things work. And Albel's head spins around like, you know, an owl's or the Exorcist lady. Probably more like the Exorcist lady with the faces he makes. Is Apollo married? No, not in the beginning of the manga series. He is not. Mother tongue would be English or Japanese, depending on which country it's airing in. His birthday, I already said, was February 7th. Does he or she own a home? Not technically. What does Apollo like? He likes archery. He likes arts and crafts. He likes the sky, ponies. I mean, he likes everything. He's into everything. He will sing. He will dance. He will drum. He likes the ladies. He is a little bit of a ladies' man. What does he dislike? He doesn't like anybody to be upset. He's got some. He's a little bit of a perfectionist with himself. He doesn't want to make anyone upset, like, ever. And he really wants to make people happy. So there are times where he just, like, when he knows someone is upset, like, that's sometimes when he'll trigger Albel into being, like, crazy angry at something he did in a playful type manner, because he'd rather, you know, give Albel that little bit of an escape than to let him sit in that emotion the entire time. How would you describe the childhood of Apollo? Well, when Apollo was little, he was being set up to be king of the Isle of the Sky. Now he's, up to 5 years old at this point, so he's having to go with all like the priests in the Isle of the Sky and learn the history of Rishon and the prophecies of doom and what his responsibilities are. And there's a lot of pressure on him to be a good king. Meanwhile, Albel gets to go out with Zeta, who is their father figure. He's not their actual father. That would be Erebus if you didn't catch any of the other live streams. And so Albel gets to go out with Zeta and do shooting and stuff because while it's important for Albel to learn some things, it's not quite as important as Apollo knowing them. And Hannibal's still sickly at this point because he's young and he's not used to the sun. So he's kind of inside a lot, just kind of trying to feel better. So Apollo takes interest in this little girl named Clara, and she's flirting with him. And yeah, he's only 5, but she kisses his cheek, and he thinks, this is my queen. I found the love of my life. I'm going to get married tomorrow. Not really that quick, but that's kind of his attitude, is that he's pretty much, head over heels for this girl whom Albel hates because he's a little more critical and thinks that she's just after the fact that he is going to be king one day. But to be fair to Apollo, Albel always thinks the worst of everybody the first time he meets them. Apollo's like, yay, a new person. And Albel's like, what way are you going to try and fuck us over today? Oh, shoot, I shouldn't have said that. But yeah, he's like, what way are you going to fuck us over? I said it again. I just said I shouldn't have said that. Anyway, pardon my French. How would you describe the teenage years of the character? Well, the other part of Albel and Apollo's childhood, and I know I'm kind of doing a both thing, is their home gets burnt down. They're attacked by an unforeseen enemy, which is Emmy, who's a Comorian. We'll get into him later. And it gets burnt down. A lot of their people die. Clara dies. And Apollo is just tortured because not only did he tell Clara to hide somewhere safe, he left Hannibal at home. Well, it was actually in a field outside of their home to go off and play with Clara before everything happened. And Hannibal getting sick never quite made it back home. He ended up going the wrong way. He's not good at directions at this point. He's much better when he's older. Yes, he is better than me with directions before Sparta chimes in and asks that, because I have absolutely no sense of direction. So they spend a lot of time on Earth, and Albel is experiencing this abandonment problem because Zeta's missing. He was missing before the fire started. His mom didn't send anybody else out to help him, and then Hannibal is gone. And he doesn't know for sure that Hannibal didn't just run off or if he's dead. And pretty much the only thing that comes through is Mommy says, you better find him. So Albel doesn't take much heedance. Their entire life just got turned upside down, and Mommy is, you better go find your baby brother. I don't want to hear it. So he doesn't like his mom. Apollo's still kind of wants to please her, and they go off searching for Hannibal. The only good thing I have to say that came out of this tragedy is that Apollo and Albel have such a close relationship with each other because Yeah, Sam's no good with directions either. But they spend 13 years looking for Hannibal. And through this 13 years, they go on a lot of adventures and they become the most consistent thing in each other's life. And there are plenty of places on Earth who are still Rishan societies or communities, rather, who still worship Ree and love her children. But there's also, like I said, the growing communities that are against Ree. They don't like her ruling anymore. They want to replace her, such as the cult Will of the People. And this can get them into trouble sometimes, so they have a lot of scrapes and getting out of stuff before they find Hannibal. They track him down, and they know every year on his birthday, if he's out in the moonlight, they'll get a sign of where he is, but this is only visible to other Rishan. And so the thing is, it's a big world, so they're tracking down where he could have fell, all these clues, any rumors, and eventually they do find Hannibal again. A little too late for some people, but yeah. We haven't really gotten to adulthood. They just kind of started it. How would you describe adulthood? Role and environment of the character. What's the role of the character in the story? So Apollo is meant to become king of the island of the sky. He is going to be the leader of all the earthbound Rishan. So for earthbound Rishan, that means not just the earth Rishan, but the water Rishan as well, because they all live on the earth. He's supposed to lead the people. He's supposed to be the direct word of Ree from heaven and exact out her will. He's kind of crushed under the weight of this crown. He didn't really want this responsibility. How is Apollo introduced? He is introduced to the story because Hannibal is in a bit of a scrap when Lamia dies. He's taken on a demon and he doesn't know how to use his powers. He didn't even know he had powers. And so him and Albel kind of come in at the same time after seeing the moonlight hit. And they can save him from the demon. Hannibal gets a little bit in there, but pretty much if they hadn't come along, Ree was going to be really pissed because they just failed her. Not only did they take 13 years to find him, they let him get eaten. That wouldn't have been good. Let's see. He has a really good relationship with Albel, and he develops a good one with Hannibal. He does not currently have a wife or husband or girlfriend, but he is very flirtatious. Expect that. He doesn't really have any addiction. He's got that bad habit of, well, one, he drives Albel crazy, and sometimes he shouldn't. Like, sometimes there's a time to be serious. He's not always good at that. He kind of avoids taking responsibility when it comes to leading. He has good ideas, and he'll put his ideas out there and be like, no, we gotta go do this way. But the more serious the situation, the more he doesn't want anything to do about it, and that's that fear of failure. He's got blue eyes, blonde hair, pale skin. Does the character drink regularly? I don't think Albel would let Apollo drink. Probably happened once, and he said never the F again. And I'm pretty sure he probably chases anybody away from Apollo who threatens to give him alcohol, because I can't imagine that Albel would even have a moment of peace. His height is 5'9". at the moment. He will get taller a little later on. All the Russian boys haven't finished growing, even though they're 18. The age for the gods are a little different, so they still have a little growing to do. So yes, be excited for that part, Sam. There's going to be some growing. Let's see. Does the character have any disabilities? Not really. He doesn't smoke. He always brushes his teeth. He likes his teeth. He plays the lyre. Pretty much he can play any string instrument. I don't want to say any, but there's a lot that he can play. He likes the strings. He's into archery. He does like art. However, he's a sloppy, more gosh, I can't think of the word for it right now. He's more of your Picasso style interpretational artist than like Albel. He's into art. I don't think that Apollo steals lemons when he's drunk like I do. Yeah, I steal lemons when I'm drunk. So, what was I saying? Yeah, so he likes stringed instruments. He's more of an abstract artist. There we go. Is the character healthy or does he have any diseases? Apollo is extremely healthy. He's a healer. His body automatically self-heals. The trick is if he heals anybody else, it heals himself slower, and or there's still a point of no return for him. Don't think he's immortal, because he is not. It says, what is the style of your character? So a lot of my characters wear jeans, and I like it that way. And some of them have older style clothing. Some of them have modern style clothing. It doesn't matter, because it's not set in our time period nor on our Earth, if that makes sense. So they can have whatever the clothes that I decided, and I really like drawing jeans. Trying to see what happened. Oh, they're talking about me stealing lemons when I'm drunk. Okay. Let's see. Mental characteristics. I already talked about how he was very formally educated on, myth and, it's not considered, but we would consider it myth nowadays. But, like the history of the Rishin, and he loves, in the first tier of Sky Rishin, D'Italian, and he loves the story about how D'Italian sealed away Nostradamus and stopped the 1,000 Demon Army with his brothers. But, he really looks up to him, but he is also kind of crushed under that pressure of he's going to have to compare with him, because D'Italian was once king of the Isle of the Sky, king of the Earth, Rishin, that type of thing. Apollo is intelligent, but it is fleeting. And by that, I mean he has really good strategy. He's very intelligent, but he's also very prone to daydreaming and not thinking when he should. And so he's spacey, and that's all right. His fears is not living up to expectations, whether it's his own or his mother's or his girlfriend's. She's dead, but you know what I mean? His life goal for the next 5 years. His goal right now is to go home, rebuild the Isle of the Sky, have it populated again, so his mother's finally happy with him and will stop torturing him. That's kind of his goal. It switches a little to help Hannibal. Albel doesn't like this so much. He wants his mom to stop torturing Apollo. So he wants to get Hannibal back to the Island of the Sky really quickly. And Apollo's more like, come on, let's do this, because we should help him. And Albel's like, I don't know, like, I'm not really supposed to do this. I only get like one freebie, and I was kind of going to use it on your dumbass when you get murdered. So reluctantly, he kind of agrees to help Hannibal save Lamia's life. And I say that as like, he doesn't mind helping Hannibal do it, but he's still more concerned about Apollo than he is Hannibal. And he's more concerned with getting Rhea off of his back. And he knows this detour is not going to be good because she's going to catch on to it and she's going to ask him what the TH is taking so long. He does not have, he's got self-confidence when it comes to the ladies. He does not have self-confidence when it comes to acting on his ideas. He doesn't have the confidence to become king, so to speak. He doesn't think he has what it takes. He feels like the island burning and killing all those people, even though he was only 5 years old, is completely his fault, and he's a terrible king and can never make up for it. Like, this is a very traumatic experience for the both of them. It's not hard to upset Apollo, but he's not always going to let you know that he's upset. He's kind of good at hiding it behind a smile for the most part. He will express it other times, but he's not really boo-hoo, I'm going to cry every 2 seconds type of character. I don't want to put that out there. He's very extroverted. I admire that about him because everybody knows that I am not extroverted. How does Apollo cope with fury and rage? He usually gets it from sadness. He'll get sad for a very, very long time, and he might not say anything about it, but it's kind of apparent. But if the abuse that he is taking becomes persistent, or it's the same excuse over and over again, if you're always eating his yogurt every day and he says, hey, why are you eating my yogurt? And you're like, oh, sorry, bro, I didn't know it was you. He'll be like, okay, no problem. But on the 16th or 17th day on the 3rd year, he will snap and he will be like, that's my yogurt. Stop eating my yogurt. And he will probably dump it on your head because at that point, it's better for you to be wearing it than eating it. How does he cope with unhappiness? He self-harms. He has a problem with that. Albel is fully aware of that. They have a system to help him kind of get through it, but that you'll see in the comic. How does he deal with rivalry? If it's a playful rivalry, he likes it. He likes to compete, but he can never take it seriously. He doesn't like, if someone takes it too serious, it just turns him off. He wants to have fun. How does he deal with trouble? He doesn't like getting into trouble. Well, I guess, what is his meaning of life? His meaning of life has been assigned to him, so he hasn't really discovered it for himself. So he's still looking for what it is that makes him thrive. Although I guess it could be debated, it is making Albel make shark face. Let's see. What would the character like to change in his or her life? He would very much like to be stronger and to not fail. But who doesn't not want to fail? Apollo is very motivated by his brothers. He's very motivated about being able to get attention. Positive attention. He doesn't like negative attention. So he kind of does like his butt pats. He's not conceited, but he wants to feel loved. And so sometimes he acts out for it, but it's usually in a humorous way. It's nothing like, look at me, I'll fight your fish for a cracker. It's nothing like that. What makes Apollo happy is just when everybody's happy and having a good time. He loves music. He loves theater. And you will see he has some speeches where he goes on all dramatically, and Hannibal just is like, okay, get to the point. I don't need all this. Get to the point. Is the character often biased when it comes to his family a little bit? He's very protective of his family. Damn it, my phone's going off. And it's all the way over there. And I can't stand that noise. Okay. Apollo is a giver and taker. He'll give you the shirt off of his back. But if you offer to give him affection, he's going to soak it up like a sponge. Apollo's pretty nice. He's not very rude. I think it went back there. That's the end of that round for Apollo. And some of this we did go over with Albel, but I will try not to double take too much over it. So Albel's name is Albel. I'm pretty sure that Apollo has called him Bell Bell and Allie Bear, but I'm pretty sure he's probably gotten a huge punch in the face every time he's given Albel a nickname, because Albel doesn't like anything cutesy. He doesn't want to be called Allie or nothing like that. So, he's 18. He's a Rishan. He doesn't really have a religion. He's kind of just like, we're here, whatever. It's not that he doesn't believe in the others. It's more of he doesn't really follow his mom. He doesn't really follow his dad. He doesn't really follow the will of the people. He's just kind of in it for him and Apollo in the beginning. Born on the island of the sky, he's currently traveling. He's the Rishan of the tween times. And so that's dusk and dawn, just to kind of give that into perspective. His income, whatever money they make, goes into Albel's pocket because he's the responsible spender. He doesn't let Apollo go and buy 16 flutes because they're on a bargain deal. He's responsible with the money. He is not married in the beginning. His mother tongue, English, Japanese. His birthday is February 9th. He does not own a home. He is angry. He's the grumpy Gus of the group. He's very protective. He really likes music and he really likes art. And he can pretty much play any instrument you put in front of him. There's very few instruments he couldn't play. He likes the drums as well, but that he hasn't really settled on one particular instrument. I already kind of talked about their childhood. To get a little more into Albel's perspective, is he really kind of idolized Zeta. And him and Zeta had a really special relationship because technically the tween time children, or Rishan, fall under Zeta's realm. So did Zeta kind of maybe favorite Albel a little bit over Hannibal and Apollo? Unintentionally, yes. Because technically Albel is one of his heirs. If the other 15 generations of tween time Rishan all were wiped out between Zeta and Albel, Albel would inherit his throne. So that's how that works. I kind of went over a lot of Albel and Apollo's childhood. Albel's role is really, he just wants, his goal is to pretty much make his mom leave his brother alone. And he figures it's going to stop once the Island of the Sky is back up and running and she's got her capital and more control over the world. He's a little naive in the beginning. He doesn't seem naive, but I don't know what mood was for because I was reading, but yeah, he's introduced same way as Apollo. He comes in, saves Hannibal. I don't know that Albel has any addictions other than probably rapping. I don't really think Albel has too many bad habits as far as he's fairly clean. He eats a good diet. He's very much into his martial arts. His hair color is like a magenta-y pinkish purple. He is slightly more tan than Apollo and Hannibal. Albel will drink. He will drink responsibly because he is afraid of losing control of himself. Yeah, I would say that Albel's a little blinded by his goal because, he just really wants his mom. Like, she left him alone for forever. She couldn't even come down and raise them. So he doesn't really care for his mom at all. Like, his goal is to get her back out of his business and Apollo's business. He doesn't really have any disabilities. He doesn't smoke. But he will drink, but not to the point where he loses control because he doesn't want to do anything stupid like Apollo does. So he likes to maintain his kind of air of social status, if that makes sense. He will drink responsibly. He is 5'11". So he's a little bit taller than Apollo and Hannibal, and he's not done growing. He's fairly healthy. He wears more traditional Chinese clothing for his style. He likes his traditional Chinese clothing. His teaching mostly had to do with martial arts and bows and arrows because Zeta is so strong. And when Albel saw that, he wanted to be just like Zeta. So he wanted to learn everything that Zeta knew how to do, and he wanted to do it all. And in the beginning, he was really into archery, but as he gets older, he's more a sword and spear kind of guy. Albel is very intelligent, but he has no control of his anger, and that gets the better of him. His fear is really losing Apollo, and it's kind of like if he loses Apollo, then he really has nobody. Everybody else has kind of left him or not been there, but Apollo has always been there. He's got a little bit of anxiety about this. Not so much like if Apollo gets a girlfriend, he's always going to have that initial, I don't know about this chick, but he's afraid that Apollo is going to literally just walk off a cliff on accident and die because Apollo is daydreamy. So he gets that anxiety. Almost at the mark. Almost at the mark of what? I'm going to have to look back in a second. Why? I don't know what Sam was talking about. Let's see. He's got a lot of self-confidence. He pretty much will fight anybody. He's pretty pretty sure he's going to win most of the time. He is both rational and emotional. He is rational until he gets emotional. And it's easy to set him off with anger. I mean, you could give this guy a wet willy and it'd be World War III. Oh, okay. Almost hit the mark for height. Okay. Thanks for clarifying, Sam. Emotional strengths of the character, weaknesses of the characters. The character is, I would say he's more introverted. Not necessarily wanting to be a part of the group when they're at the festivals. You'll see when he gets to Jonah's group of mission supporters or Jonah's tribe, he's kind of like, do I have to, no, don't, girls, stop hitting on me. I don't want to be around you. He gets angry. He just wants, stop, leave me alone. I don't know. Don't touch my butt. But if it comes to competition, he's all down. He'll throw down with you. He doesn't care. I don't know if you're talking about touching the butt is being a mood. Okay then. See, how does he deal with fury and rage? By acting upon them. With unhappiness, he pretty much turns it to anger. Rivalry, anger. New situations, he's grumpy. He's not gonna come off that grump horse until he knows that all the people claiming to be zebras aren't actually lions. He also doesn't have too much of a meaning of life because the Sky Rishon are really kind of dealt their hands. His job is to protect the island of the sky, so he's got to get it back rebuilt. He's going to defend home. He's going to defend his brothers. He does kind of have a strained relationship with Hannibal in the beginning because Hannibal doesn't remember what happened. Apollo really goes with, he fell, something happened, he got pushed. Albel's still just like a little bit uncomfortable because he doesn't really know Hannibal. He has to warm up. And it's just a protective thing. He doesn't want Apollo to get hurt. He doesn't want to get hurt. He didn't grow up around Hannibal after they were 5, so he doesn't know if Hannibal's gotten into strange things like, painting zebras rainbow colors and putting them in suspenders. Who knows what Hannibal's into? Always down to fight. So let's see. What would the character like to change in his life? He would tell you that he would like to not be annoyed by Apollo all the time and be able to probably opening up a martial art training place where he can train a few level-headed people, have some tea, do some calligraphy, not hear random nonsense babbling in his ear in the morning. Why are you sleeping so close to me? This is a little awkward. And then he punches Apollo out of the sleeping bag. He's just motivated by at the same time that he wants that piece. Is like he can't really imagine life without Apollo, so he likes it, but he hates it, but he likes it. So it's a good interaction. And he's just really motivated by right now helping his brother and trying to kind of obtain peace for himself, if you really want to get that far into it. What makes Albel happy? You know that moment I was talking about earlier when he was in the shower and he was rapping about cats? He loves cats. Cats are his favoriteest thing. And to be rapping peacefully by himself in the shower would have been a perfect thing for him, which is often ruined by Apollo. And then he loves his martial arts. He loves his musical instruments, but he doesn't like random people just chiming in with what they think should be in his songs, I guess. Is Albel biased? Absolutely. 100% biased. But it's okay. He's usually biased because of his own personal experiences, but I guess that counts for everybody. I don't know if I'd say Albel prefers to give or take. I think he's a good, what do you mean you're trying to give me something? What'd you do to it? Type of character. He can be rude. He's probably the rudest of the three Rishin, although Hannibal sometimes gets rude because Hannibal is not socially experienced. Albel knows a little better. He just sometimes doesn't give a flying banana. So that is all of the questions. And unless you guys have any questions about it, I can answer some questions about Apollo or Albel or even Hannibal. Which I still think if Hannibal and Albel joined together to defeat Apollo in a prank war, Apollo would still win. They could set like buckets over doors and somehow it would backfire and hit them, like come flying off the door. But yeah, that's the basics of Albel and Apollo. I'm trying to think here if there's anything else I can answer. I do really like them together, and I really like how they grow throughout the series. We got some stuff to learn. And, Albel becomes best friends with Miri, who is going to be one of the people for I don't think it's the next video. The next video I wanted to talk about the will of the people and how that cult worked, and probably Will. We should talk about Will since, he's, the man-made god. But Miri and Sierra should be after that. I might split it so they're separate ones because this video is almost an hour. But, yeah, so that is, I guess that's it. I want to have a fun question. So what question can I come up with? What question can I come up with? What would you guys want to know about the cult, about Lamia's family? Do you have any questions about that? Because I can try to answer that. Or if you have any, what is their favorite food? Okay. I'll see how to answer that because there's a lot of people in it, but I guess I could see kind of like how you go to a church and sometimes they give wine and bread for Jesus, or something like that. I can kind of see where I could answer it in that way. Like, do they have any sacrificial or symbolic favorite foods? What made them question? Was it their torment? Yeah, kind of. So I will explain more of that. I always like Sam to come up with an off-the-wall question because she's really good at them. And it doesn't have to be about the will of the people. You can ask it about Apollo or Albel if you want. or anybody else? No, they don't really feel that the Rishan abandoned them. More like, well, I'll get into it next time. But yeah, it's not an abandonment issue. Albel has the abandonment issues for well, I guess technically Minx has a little bit. But I really don't see too many people having. Oh, you know who does really have a lot of abandonment issues? Nostradamus has a lot of abandonment issues, but we aren't even close to talking about him yet. I did pull a card for this chat. Why is there an equal sign? Was it because I said Nostradamus? I should talk about him and Zeta. And how Zeta loves Nostradamus because they're BFFs forever. But yeah, I pulled an angel card just to kind of get, why do you make that face? You love Nazi. Okay, so I pulled an angel card for some energy for this week, and here's what it says. Positive outcome. The sun is about to burst through the clouds, and you will soon see things in a different light. Something that previously seemed hopeless will soon be filled with nothing but hope. It's a good card. I just thought it would be fun. So take that into consideration, what might be coming your way. It's the first time I pulled an angel card during the live stream, but I thought, why the heck not? They're short, sweet messages. Yeah, Sam, Spartan, I don't know if I told you, Sam is going to be a virgin sacrifice. Yeah, Nostradamus is gonna sacrifice Sam to raise his 1,000 demon army from the dead again. We have 5 people in the chat. Somebody joined us. For reasons? He needs his 1,000 demon army to come so he can help take over the world and destroy all the Rishis. You're gonna fight him? Is anybody really surprised about that? Okay, so I want you guys to, I have Sparta's questions here. So if you have any questions about the will of the people or will in general. Oh, but Zeta loves him. It'll be sad if you fight him. Yeah. So if you have any questions about will, I can go into a little bit. Will is the god that the will of the people are creating to follow their will. This is a little, I need to find new words to help explain this. The best thing we can use my virginity for. Okay. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that word on YouTube anymore, but well. Yeah, so if you guys have any questions about Will, he's got no real will of his own. He's got some, but it's definitely overpowered by what the mass majority want. So, yeah, I will say goodbye now and end the stream, and you can eat Puppet. I don't know. My brain just went virginity Puppet, and it did not go to a good place on how that works. Oh dear Lord. Okay. I'm gonna end the stream right now. And if you guys have any questions, I'd love to hear them. If you can. Oh, Will is a puppet. Yeah, Will is kind of a puppet. He has his own personality. He's, well, kind of. he has a slight personality. Really, in the beginning, he is very, I don't say robotic, but he's very plain. So later on, he starts thinking for himself, but he still can't. He's got no will to override anything. So he is kind of a puppet. So you can ask questions about Will. And Sam, you'll like him. He's tall. Yeah. He's almost 7 feet tall. Pistachio. Yeah, it's like pistachio, except nowhere near as innocent. Okay. So, all right, I'm gonna end the live stream. Thanks for coming, guys. I appreciate you being here. Somebody's got to be tall. All right, bye, guys. I'm supposed to say things like, share, support my channel, and then I should endorse something. And I had a plan to endorse the new lady who was in MMA because she made beautiful stuff, but I'm sorry, I'm still reading the comments. But yeah, so I'm going to endorse 3D printers because they make really cool things like this. And I like Sailor Saturn. Okay, so that's the end. I'm going to put my Patreon link in the thing below. If anybody wants to follow me on Patreon, who isn't already following me on Patreon. And then I appreciate your likes, subscribes, and I got all jumbled. I have to work on my ending. Oh yeah, Streamlab. Next week I'm hoping that I'll be on Streamlab. So now I'm going to say goodbye before I make this run on another 30 minutes. Okay, bye for real this time, guys. Yeah, I said end.